green. We have the green and we have racing, and Newgarden immediately to the fore with a brilliant start, and everybody seemingly clean. And no, we're not. We're yellow because we have a spin, and it's Colton Herta. So Herta carries on and continues on his way.
Do you see the yellow and black car, Colton Herta, right there on your screen?
He just jumped it, tried to go low and make a move. I think that was on Christian Lundgaard and just lost the back end.
I think he got his wheel down onto the apron. It sort of unweights the car. There's still an angle there. The left front gets down, unweights the car, hooks him around.
It is down to Newgarden to determine when to pull the trigger and drop the hammer, and he chooses now to lead the field back to green. Josef Newgarden from Connor Daly, and who is already having a look? It's Nolan Siegel taking a look at Will Power up on the inside through turn 1 and into 2. It's a lovely move from the McLaren man. Takes up 1 position on the restart.
Nice to see Will Power so confident to the outside as Alex Palou challenging Felix Rosenqvist there in turns 3 and 4. Those drivers started 3rd and 4th. They still run in that order, but Palou going high. That keeps the line clean and opens the opportunity for their cars.
And that's what we need to see in the early part of this race, is drivers attempting those high line moves to keep it in use throughout this race. So Palou up a position to P3. Next on his radar is the car of Connor Daly.
And even Connor running about a half car width higher than Josef Newgarden in front. So if drivers continue to keep their right sides a little bit outside that single lane, we're going to be able to keep that second lane running all night long, and that's really what we want to see.
Christian Lundgaard dropping like a stone at the moment. He's been passed by one of the Premas. Looks like he's about to be passed by the car of
Devlin
Louis
DiFrancesco.
Is it Louis? I think it's Devlin. Yeah, you're right. Devlin DiFrancesco trying to hang it around the outside of Lundgaard, who in the McLaren, a car that should be competitive, having seen the pace of Nolan Siegel and that of Pato O'Ward. We know, though, he does struggle when it's all about turning left.
Dev doing a great job working that high line, just trying to roll that speed across the middle of the corner, get a little bit of a half of a toe right here off the exit of 2, but Lundgaard's starting to find his rhythm.
Newgarden then, we ride on board back with him, looking back at Connor Daly, who is not letting the man who has won here 6 times disappear, keeping him well within a half a second.
No rush here for Connor Daly. He can settle in, get a sense of how his car is handling, and know that in probably another 5 laps or less, Josef Newgarden will be at the tail end of the lead lap. That's Jacob Abel running right now in 27th place. So only 3 or 4 more laps and things change dramatically for the leaders as they try to carve their way through lap traffic.
We sit on board with Scott McLaughlin. 5 places gained since the start of this race, 4 since we went back to green. Christian Rasmussen, another driver on the move, 3 places made up for him. So impressive at Gateway the last time we were on a short course oval, taking his first ever podium on that day.
But moments ago, in front of Scott McLaughlin, the 21 car of Christian Rasmussen had a save, we understand. Oh, wow. Boy, that's a crash that didn't happen. Holy cow.
Not only was that a super long, really good save, as we watch on board from, wow, the fact that he didn't get up into the high lane where there isn't as much grip and have the accident like we saw at Kirkwood in practice, that was unbelievable.
Rasmussen is never not exciting on an oval. We saw it at Indy, we've seen it at Gateway, we're seeing it again today.
Yeah, and you said it, Townsend, I bet a lot of drivers are getting word.
And we have a yellow.
Down, yellow, turn 2.
Oh boy, car in the wall. I think it's Jacob Abel. It is.
It is on the exit of 2.
And Christian Rasmussen just was able to sneak high and around.
Right front suspension totally gone.
Yeah,
and you heard Jacob Abel say he got high and probably picked up quite a few marbles on the tires. And that's the ice driving we always talk about here.
So we keep an eye on the top of the screen. That's the exit of 2. There he is, high up in the marbles and hard into the wall.
Yeah, it's hard to see exactly how it started. You know, by mid-corner, he was already quite high.
Oh, boy.
Rasmussen threading the needle on the outside.
I mean, he is a guaranteed highlight 4 or 5 times in oval, Christian Rasmussen, there's always something going on. He got high and probably couldn't turn it either and just barely made the corner and then shot the gap between the wall and Abel.
The AMR IndyCar safety team arrived on the scene, as they always do, incredibly fast and efficiently, and will get Jacob Abel's number 51 Honda away as quickly as possible. But guys, what does this now do for strategy? Because we were talking before the race, you could run 100 laps, 80 optimum. If a yellow came out earlier than 100, there's a chance that this thing turns from being a hold off and try to look after fuel race into a push race, goes from a 2-stop potentially to a 3.
Well, Townsend, I'm not a great mathematician, but to me, this sounds like a good thing, because it's late enough in the stint, you have to stop. We see the crews lined up on pit lane. It's about to get very busy down there, but they can't really do it on just one more from here. So I think this opens up the opportunity for drivers to really start pushing, not have to worry about fuel, knowing there's 2 stops left on the day.
I don't know. I look at the math, 77 laps complete. We think you could do 100 laps on a stint, so I think you could make it on one more stop the way things are playing out. But we've been wrong before. We've been right before. We were guessing at Mid-Ohio and Road America if the fuel was going to work. But one thing's for sure, you cannot afford to pit under green when you're presented with an opportunity at lap 78. I think everybody coming to pit lane right now.
As soon as that pit lane opens, we're going to see a mad scramble. I can tell you, looking outside of our commentary box window, pretty much every single pit stall is standing by for their driver.
But what I like about this is what I'm seeing in turn 3 and 4 right now, and that's the sweepers out there.
Yes.
Taking care of those marbles, taking care of that spent rubber on the high line at both ends of this racetrack. That's going to open everything up and give drivers a bit more confidence on this restart.
You're telling me we're going to get drivers pushing on fuel and a clean high line? I like the sound of that. Drivers on pit lane, led by Josef Newgarden. Jack Harvey waiting for us.
Yeah, the number 76 of Connor Daly will actually be the guy who stops in his box first. This is the battle for the lead. Him and Josef Newgarden. They're changing the wheels. They're going to do a full tank of the Shell 100% renewable fuel. This is going to be massive for the restart. Georgia, what are you seeing?
I see the championship points leader at the attention of his crew. They're going to put new Firestone tires, fill it up with fuel. He was asked if they wanted any changes. They said no, and he's down and away.
Absolute disaster for Connor Daly, who has been swamped by the field. Palou's moved up to 2nd. Scott Dixon has moved up to 3rd. Then it is O'Ward. Then it is Daly, who just got out ahead of Alex Palou. A slight bobble on the rear right in Daly's stop. Newgarden still leads, but now he has the championship leader hot on his heels. And we'll get this race underway once again, but it's not Connor Daly on his rear wing. Now it's the championship leader, Alex Palou, who is under pressure from his own teammate, Scott Dixon.
The 3 wide further behind right there, trying to work that outside line. Daly going to work to try to make up some of the spots that he lost on pit lane.
Already getting past Rosenquist and having a look at Power at the same time as Ericsson takes a look at the rookie Louis Foster, but can't find a way through at the moment. Connor Daly, though, wasting absolutely no time in showing the pace of that car and trying to make up some of the positions lost in that last pit stop. 2x2, side by side, and that's Malukas and one of the ECR cars.
Connor is looking so aggressive up front, trying to make a move on O'Ward and Dixon. They are all jammed up as they cross start-finish. Connor is determined to get back what he had before the pit stop sequence.
Doesn't look like a fuel-save race anymore. This is push, push, push as O'Ward goes to the outside of Dixon, and Daly holds in rear and just has a look at them both going through there. But Dixon holds on, and O'Ward will not let that go. Wants to make the pass, and again goes to the high line. Cleaned up under caution. The McLaren driver keeping it stuck in. We go side by side.
Gets the pass done as O'Ward white-knuckled it, and Daly using the momentum and the checkup from Dixon to get alongside. He's ahead at the line. Can he clear him by 1? He can.
And now O'Ward has a look at Palou, and that's 2 moves for Patricio O'Ward, and Daly now on to the championship leader and past the championship leader. It's Newgarden from O'Ward, from Daly.
That worked perfectly for Connor Daly. Palou with the big checkup as O'Ward went to the inside, I think surprised Alex Palou, and Connor Daly with a big head of steam, and now Pato O'Ward wants the lead of this thing.
Yeah, let's rewind 1 year to the Indy 500. Pato O'Ward in Josef Newgarden's mirrors. Remember me? Bet you do. Here it comes, Pato O'Ward, absolutely on a tear.
Josef Newgarden picked up about a half a second once Pato O'Ward got into his mirrors.
Run with Newgarden, your P2.
I think you're.
Oh, someone's up and in the wall.
2.
And that is marvelous.
Kirkwood. Second in the championship. And we talked about marbles forming. This is exactly where the last caution came from, in the same spot. Jacob Abel was the one getting high, and Kirkwood knows that his day is done and he's frustrated.
In the Sukup Honda, high through 1 and 2. He sits on the exit of 2. And after such a brilliant run had placed him up in second place in the championship. This a horror show result for him, and really a horrible day for all of Andretti. He crashed in practice, crashes again in the race. Here's a replay, and just getting high and onto the marbles. And once you get up that high, James, onto those marbles, are you just a passenger? Does it just take all opportunity to turn away?
It's like hitting black ice in a road car in the winter. Let's listen here.
Something broke. Right front, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a cut tire or the suspension broke.
You could hear it dragging.
Yeah, let's try to watch that onboard again, because you can hear something happen before he starts losing the front of the car, because that was very early in the corner.
Sounds like it's something at the rear.
That's on board with Graham Rahal, as you saw Kyle Kirkwood, just a passenger. You know, there was a right front tire failure in the test here, when
I'm trying to look.
A lot of the cars came. Let's watch and listen. Watch the right front.
Yeah, I think you're right, T-Bell. You start to see the sidewall flutter a little bit.
Jack, what can you tell us?
Well, as you're seeing, everybody is going to funnel down into pit lane. Number 2 of Josef Newgarden is just about to stop on his marks. This was a great yellow for him. He was starting to complain about tyre degradation. You're also seeing Pato O'Ward in the 5. And these teams are some of the best on pit lane. This is going to be a great battle to the end. Georgia.
Alex Palou in the front pit stop down on pit lane. He was asked if he wanted any changes. He wants to turn and have the fresh lane new tires. It's a fuel. They have been so calm and collected. He's down pit lane.
Another great stop from Ganassi gets Alex Palou out ahead of Connor Daly once again.
But I want to point out a great stop from Juncos Hollinger for Connor Daly. They didn't lose much there, as we see one more time Kirkwood getting into the fence.
Drops the hammer, tries to pull away from Pato O'Ward. A slight little wiggle from Pato, but has a look as Will Power has a look up the inside of Connor Daly, and that's a lovely move from the Penske driver. Daly will not want to let him get through, though. All the hard work from Daly to make those positions and hold on to those positions, and he does maintain that position. And now Ferrucci having a look at Scott Dixon. We know that Ferrucci likes to get his elbows out, and it's in these early laps where he's going to try to make that charge, and Dixon's going to have to defend, and Siegel now puts the move on Power.
Too wide, too deep there, through turns 1 and 2. Siegel stays ahead of Power. Dixon trying to fend off Ferrucci, but he clears him into 4.
How about Connor Daly saying to Alex Palou, hey, watch this, bud. Connor is in a hurry to make a move to the high side because the track is clean. It will not stay clean long. He's trying everything he can.
That was crafty from Palou. He turned in and didn't immediately go to the bottom. He kind of sat his car in that middle of lane 1 and 2, didn't give Connor the bit of racetrack that he was expecting, and look at the kind of checkup and separation it's created. That was crafty from the championship leader.
We sit on board with McLaughlin sitting P12. Louis Foster ahead of us, who's lost 1 place to Rasmussen, who's really on the charge from the restart, making up another place. That's 3 just from the stops.
It's Colton Herta and Felix Rosenqvist going side by side. Now remember, earlier it was Alexander Rossi ahead of McLaughlin that had taken McLaughlin's high line. Now rookie Louis Foster is the car ahead of McLaughlin. Maybe it's going to be a little easier for McLaughlin to work his way past.
Sirius XM on board here with Rosenqvist. He is not happy in that race car, just falling back as we see Herta clear Rinus VeeKay there. That gets Herta up into 16th position.
And here does come Power on the McLaren of Nolan Siegel, has the pace advantage, moves to the inside and clears him with ease.
Yeah, that was decisive. I mean, it's hard to get a draft on these short straights, but you saw there off at 2. If you can get kind of within that pocket, it's about 3 car lengths behind. off of 2 or off of 4, it's amazing how quickly it pulls you in.
And really does pull him in. Look at the slipstream, look at the toe that he's getting from Daly, and the pace advantage through taking that line. Power now on Connor Daly. Will have the inside run at 1, and it's 2 drivers in 2 laps for Will Power. And next on his agenda is the championship leader. Is that cork in the bottle, Alex Palou?
Team Penske 1st and 4th right now, with McLaughlin further back, still trying to work his way up from 12th. But I'd say easily the best race so far for Team Penske this season. They're in great position as Will Power sliding high mid-corner for that clean air, just like what Scotty Mack showed the field about 100 laps ago.
It's been a beautiful drive today from Will Power.
Yeah. Measured, disciplined, great technique.
And this, a guy who we were talking to at the start of the weekend, still without a contract for next season. One of Penske's most successful drivers. He is statistically the fastest driver this championship has ever seen and has ever known, with more pole positions than anyone in history. His pedigree and his talent is undeniable, and yet here he sits without a contract.
James, you saw there Palou so cleverly, as you mentioned earlier, moving high now mid-corner. Spotter's doing a great job for the driver there, letting him know how to adjust his line, as McLaughlin is going to get Foster.
That is bold. Straight to the high side around Louis Foster, and that is brave from Scott McLaughlin.
It's brave and it's trusting when you're committed to it.
Man, nice. Absolutely back in your rhythm. All the one running top side has been highlighted again. He's been top 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Otherwise, everyone's single file.
Some great feedback there from his spotter, but you know, you're so committed to that outside run. You're praying that the spotters are doing their jobs, telling Louis Foster, hey, he's coming, he's got that run, don't close the door, and then trusting Foster to leave you an Indy car's width plus an inch on that outside line, and he stayed buried in it and got it done.
I can see his crew out on pit lane, and yes, Newgarden now jumps down to the inside line. Newgarden pulls the pin before anybody else and takes that stop from the lead of the race. Jack, call him in.
I'm actually a little surprised, Will, that as the race leader, he actually had the power hand to stretch a little bit to protect against any potential yellow. Power Award is also going to be pitting, but I'm still actually at the 2 box. Fresh tyres, full fill. These in and out laps are critical. It puts so much pressure on these crew guys. And Power Award also heading back down. Oh no, he's coming back to me. Sorry, I got confused there for a second. These laps are so short. When these drivers come in, you end up going about 1.5 lap down. We're looking at Power Award now, stopped on the box. Tear-offs coming off. No wing change that I can see. Pato Award's back down pit lane. Kevin.
Biggest charger in this race might still be a factor is Scott McLaughlin. They felt like they weren't going to have time to make a front wing adjustment to deal with understeer, so there is an air pressure adjustment on the Firestone. How quick is this stop? McLaughlin, not super fast, he's away.
And Pato O'Ward on the bottom screen comes out on track. Where is Newgarden? Behind Pato O'Ward, but Newgarden will have the heat in his tyres, will have the momentum, and will try to get around his rival, who has been within his rear mirrors all the way through this race. Newgarden to the high side, trying to get around him into 1. O'Ward defends, O'Ward holds on, 4 now, but Newgarden is coming with pace for Pato O'Ward, but cannot find a way through. O'Ward will be the de facto leader when these stops play out. Brilliant strategy, brilliant stops from McLaren. We sit on board now with Newgarden, who has just essentially lost the lead of this race.
Newgarden needs to press right now. If Pato O'Ward can hold him off, it's going to be very difficult for Newgarden when the tires are fresh. I think that's Newgarden's best chance to get the lead back.
Pato having this dual job right now of managing traffic in front and keeping one eye behind him in the mirrors at what the number 2 of Newgarden is doing. But right now he's doing a great job clearing that lap traffic and getting cars in between him and Newgarden. Palou, however, is still your leader, and these guys are now a lap down. If a yellow comes out before these leaders pit, those guys are trapped.
So if you're Barry Wanzer, if you're Alex Palou and that DHL Honda, how long? Not that long, apparently, right now. So here is Josef Newgarden's stop. Oh, and there's a fumble on the left front tire, and that is so unlike that 2 crew. And that, the critical stop. Palou, though, is in. Let's take a look at his stop take a look at where he blends out, because if Ganassi can get the job done faster than both McLaren and Penske, this could yet be Palou's day, Georgia.
Well, it was a little earlier than they wanted to. Barry had thought it was going to be about lap 30, but since the others came in, they pivoted and told him to come down to pit lane. Alex Palou comes to the first thing. They're taking just tires and fuel like it was said before. And he is down and away. It was a bit of a slow stop, though, I must say, guys.
We keep our eyes then on Alex Palou as he exits pit lane. A 7-second stop for Palou. Keep your eyes on the blend line. Look out for the orange and black McLaren of Pato O'Ward. And from what I can see,
they're well ahead of Alex Palou. So Alex Palou lost out big on that pit stop sequence. With 33 to go, Armstrong, Newgarden, and Herta still have to pit.
So O'Ward and Newgarden and Power will be your top three when we come back. And wouldn't you know it, had they just listened to Townsend Bell's estimation of lap 245 for that final stop, somebody out here would be incredibly happy. It's not going to be Nolan Siegel. He's lost it. He's in the barriers, which means we're under caution. But by the time he went in, every stop had, and I mean literally just, been taken, which means nobody gets that advantage of that stop under caution when everybody else had taken theirs under green. We ride on board with Siegel.
Let me tell you, this was a big hit. Listen.
Almost straight back in. A lot of crash structure back there, which helps. Safer barrier, which helps. But NTT onboard pictures and audio really paints a picture for you.
And a real shame for Nolan Siegel, who was having such a great afternoon, consistently up in the top 10 today, and a real step forward. He was on the march towards having his equal best result in IndyCar of 7th. But not to be, and thankfully he looks.
Well, Nolan walking a little gingerly here to the AMR safety team. Looks like it may be a little bit of limp. You know, with an impact like that, one of the things that's always hard to deal with is your feet hitting the side of the pedals. Say your right foot hitting the brake pedal and that sharp edge of the pedal surface, or James, your knees coming together as well. They're just kind of jammed in there, feet and knees, not a lot of room, not a lot of space or a lot of give. As we understand that the red flag will come out for wall repair.
And that, understandable. And yeah, as we see, the blowtorch is out. Good to bring this thing under control. Take the cars off track, throw the red, and then we can get back to racing action once that all-important barrier repair is done. It could still be anyone's day as Pato O'Ward brings the field to green. And as we get the restart, O'Ward does lead, and look at Rasmussen already up and on the inside of Alex Palou, the ECR man, making the move and getting his elbows out immediately.
Palou having to accept that he's going down as a yellow comes out.
And that's Ilott. Yellows breed yellows. This time a red leads to the yellow. There's Callum Ilott up and into the wall, rear wing hanging off the Prema. Trying to bring that thing back to the pits.
As long as there's not any debris on the racetrack, this should be a pretty short yellow. And I think it's good news for Josef Newgarden. It gives him another chance to maybe try to get a better jump on Pato O'Ward, because that last restart, Newgarden really didn't seem to have much of a run. Pato O'Ward had done a great job.
If you're now one of the Penskes, though, coming to this restart, guess who you've got behind you? Rasmussen. On a charge. He just loves his oval racing, does Christian Rasmussen. So impressive at Gateway. Fell to the back and started from the back of the field. Fell to the back of the field with a penalty with about 50 laps of the race to go. Still finished on the podium. There is just something about this type of track and Christian Rasmussen that melds so easily. There he is, putting the moves on the championship leader.
Man, Callum Ilott on that replay was high early. Let's take a look on board with Stingray Robb. So Callum Ilott trying to do what so many have done all day long, but maybe just too high on the way in.
Yeah, he just got in a little hot, a little high, and then the back end stepped out as he was chasing it up the racetrack.
Pato O'Ward has them all in his mirrors, but can he hang on? 10 laps to go when they cross the line. It will be 9. Pato O'Ward leads, and look at Scott McLaughlin on the inside of his teammate Will Power, running wheel to wheel. But Power still has the pace advantage over his teammate as Newgarden now looks around the outside of the McLaren driver, and O'Ward holds the lead, but for how long?
Palou is trying to get another look at Rasmussen. They're side by side.
Oh!
A big correction from Newgarden into 1.
Massive save from Josef Newgarden. That will allow Pato O'Ward just a momentary breath in the lead of this race.
That's all you need. Relatively fresh tires. 8 laps to go. Pato's just got to keep his head down, his eyes forward, and his right foot flat.
I'm impressed how Newgarden was able to claw back some of the gap to Pato O'Ward. His car drafted up really well, but once he gets there, he's got to find a way to get clean air. Pato O'Ward knows that and is doing a great job to stay wide open, hang on to this thing. 6 to go.
For every one of the top 4 drivers today, this is more than just a victory. This is more than just a race. This has been a season of disappointments, perhaps for no one more than Josef Newgarden. A win today would be vindication for them all. At the end of such horrible luck and such disastrous despair, O'Ward still leads from Newgarden, but the gap is less than 0.3 of a second as they round into 3 and out of 4. What a battle we have on our hands. It will be 4 to go across the line.
Pato was a bit high there in 3 and 4. That gave Josef some clean air down low. He kept the left side of his wing clear. That got him close.
And he's got a run. He seems to have a run on every lap. They are split by nothing.
I think Newgarden's best chance appears to be in turns 1 and 2, but now Newgarden goes even higher through 3 and 4. But down here at this end of the track, Newgarden's getting a great run off of turn 2. This is as close as he's been.
Taking that Penske line slightly higher on the exit of 2. He cuts down low and has a look at O'Ward into 3. So close, he can sniff his exhaust gases now. 2 to go.
These guys are flying 177 miles an hour the last lap for Pato O'Ward. That's qualified pace.
Pato O'Ward rounds turn 3. It's now or never for Josef Newgarden. He has 1 lap to put the move on his old rival. Has a look up the inside into 1. O'Ward has it covered. Exit of 2. It's now or never for Josef Newgarden to deny Pato O'Ward a historic win on the occasion of his 100th victory. His centenary run will be capped off with success. Pato O'Ward wins at Iowa.
High fives all around as Pato O'Ward is victorious today. Not only that, but on your 100th start. How storybook is this?
This is great. We've been waiting for this one all year. It's crazy. My 50th race was also a win here in Iowa, and that's the only other win I have here. So it's a cool story. Great job by the, by my Iowa McLaren guys and gals. This Chevy powered machine was. I think it's 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3 Chevy podium. So it was about time. I'm super happy. I'm the Chevy guy that gave them their first win this year. And yeah, I mean, Joseph's the master at these races. He rules around here. So I knew that we had to be spot on, and I had to be so precise on the in laps to beat him at his own game. So yeah, this is awesome, and we have another chance tomorrow. It'd be really cool to double up.
You beat the king of corn country, as you alluded to, but how did you strategize under that last restart to able to hold him off those last 10 laps?
I mean, we've had so many duels, Josef and I, but he has a percentage that comes out on top more. And today I was like, you know what, today is the day that changes. So it was great racing out there, and I had a lot of fun making that outside groove working whenever we were 4th and 5th. And as soon as we were behind him, we just kind of we just positioned ourselves to get it done.
Congratulations. Pato O'Ward victorious here in Iowa.
Up next, it's the Farm to Finish 275, Sunday, July 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.